In this video, I'm going to be working on a Tenma scope meter. It's actually a UNI-T 81B. They just rebadged it. But anyone that can pronounce this name, there you go. There's the model. There's the name. And the problem with it was, I guess at some point, the batteries had leaked into there. He tried repairing this connector right here, but he had the wires reversed. And what happened was it ended up, what do you call it, sending, of course, reverse voltage to this board, and it blew the dial, which I already took out right there, which is a protection dial. That's what it's in there for. So I'm gonna go and put another protection dial that's similar specs, not the same exact Zener dial, but close enough. I'm gonna go and put it in there, and hopefully we can get this thing fired on. And how I figured that out was pretty simple. You just go ahead and trace where the voltage goes and stuff like that. You look at where, of course, it goes to this wire right down here, and on this side of the board here, it goes right into that dial right there. And sure enough, when I tested the meter, tested open both directions. So it's definitely bad. So we're gonna have to install a new one to get this hopefully scope meter working again. So testing the diode out of circuit right now, and as you can see, it's open. Doesn't matter which direction, it's open in both directions. So that diode definitely did its job, but it is bad, so I gotta replace it. So hopefully I will get this meter going, assuming that there's no other problems with it. I guess we'll find out. And let me go and put the new diode in there, and hopefully we can get this thing working again. So went ahead and installed the new diode in place, so hopefully this will get this meter going. I'm gonna go install it into the chassis, and we'll see if we get any life out of this thing. So went ahead and installed some batteries into this thing, cleaned up the battery compartment a little bit better than what he had it. I also had to resolder those two tabs right there. That I kind of did off video because I thought it was maybe corrosion damage. So I went ahead and cleaned that up, resoldered, because his soldering was literally atrocious. So I went ahead and redid it. And I actually wired that connector. I de-pinned that connector and reversed the wires because that's what was reversed on there, and the reason why the protection dial went out. So I went ahead and reversed it back the correct way. And as you saw earlier, replaced that dial. So now let's hope this meter actually comes on. It'll be nice. Yes! And as you can see, the meter lives again. Now I don't know if it actually operates, until I actually go ahead and put it on the signal generator and put some voltages through it and stuff like that. Doesn't seem like it had anything else significant because nothing was burnt up and the fuses are still intact. So hopefully that's the only problem with this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the screws because I left most of the screws out just in case this thing had other issues. Put it all the way back together, and I guess I'll show you how it looks somewhat assembled. So I went ahead and reassembled the scope meter somewhat back together, and I figure I'll go and show you the scope portion of this meter now. And as I said, it's a UT81B, so it's made by UNI-T. And pretty much what a lot of these companies do, like BK Precision, even Keysight's known to do it and stuff like that, is they'll go ahead and buy from some Chinese vendors and stuff to their specifications, or they'll just buy something that they think's halfway decent, slap their name on it, and then charge you a markup for it, pretty much. I mean, a lot of companies do this nowadays, but there you go. The meter board's right under there. I'm not going to take it back apart because, unfortunately, it's not threaded insert into plastic, and I don't want to wear those things down. And then here's the LCD panel, and you can see there it's a E187447. So I guess if you break your LCD panel, now you know the part number. But there you go. So I'm going to go and fully reassemble this thing now, and then we'll see how it works. So went ahead and fully reassembled the Tenma 728400 scope meter, or aka UNI-T UT81B that it actually really is. Let's go and turn it on. I do have it hooked up to my signal generator, and we'll go ahead and see if this thing functions. So there you go. And then first test we're going to put on there, we're not going to do 8 megahertz right off the back. We'll do 1 kilohertz. and see how well that does pretty much. And we'll feed in 1 volt peak to peak. So let's turn it on and let's just see if the auto function works. Yep, and it does auto range, so that's good. Okay, so let's just go ahead and change the time base manually. And yeah, I don't see no DC offset. Bring close to 1 volt peak to peak because 200 millivolts each division. So yeah, it's close enough. I mean, these meters are not very accurate to begin with, but yeah, it is working. Let's go ahead and see what a square wave looks like. And yeah, it resembles a square wave, even though needs some compensation, but does look like a square wave to me. Let's see at 500 kilohertz just to see what it looks like there. So we'll go frequency, or 500 hertz, I should say. Let's see right there. Let's go back there. And yeah, it looks like about the same pretty much. So let's go to pretty much 100 kilohertz. Why not? Let's see if it auto ranges actually. Yeah, it auto ranges, but you can see now the square wave is starting to fall apart pretty much, but kind of to be expected with one of these. Yeah, that does not look that good. Definitely needs some compensation there. It's not the cabling, I do got it properly terminated, but it's a scope meter, it's fed through leads, it's not fed through a BNC and stuff like that. I mean, it's good enough, you know what I mean? It does work. It's a little bit down too, I noticed, in the voltage. Now it's reading a little bit lower, but it's, like I said, it's close enough. It's kind of what you expect with one of these. Let's go ahead and now feed in 1 megahertz signal and let's see what that looks like there. And let's just go. Still looks like a square wave though. It's not looking like, I've seen some meters do really bad actually at this point. A lot of pocket meters where it literally looks almost like a triangle or sine wave, you know what I mean? But in this case here, it still resembles a square wave, so I actually kind of can say I'm impressed with it. Let's go 5 megahertz. Let's see what that looks like. And there you go. That's what I was saying. Yep, so that's what it looks like on one of these. Let's go down. Let's see where it starts to really fall apart. Let's go back to 3 megahertz. Let's see right there. And yeah, it's looking less. We're about 2 megahertz. So yeah, it's around 2 is probably where it starts looking, then starts falling apart around 3 and after. Let's go back to of course, sine wave, and then we'll go here. We'll go 8 megahertz. Here we'll see the 8 megahertz. And yeah, it's still hitting the 3 dB mark, so that's good. I mean, did drop, but you would expect it to drop since the max bandwidth is 8 megahertz on this thing. Let's put 10 megahertz. Let's see what 10 megahertz looks like on this thing. And yeah, there you go. Starts dropping below. But you can still see the signal though. So let's go 12 megahertz. Yeah, still there. So 15 megahertz. Oh yeah. Okay. 14 megahertz. Yeah, okay. 13 megahertz. So 13 megahertz is the max that you'll at least be able to see a sine wave. I won't even put it on square wave. Yeah, square wave looks like a sine wave. Let's go ahead and go to ramp. Let's see if ramp changes. Yeah, of course you would expect that because that is not the max bandwidth. And yeah, at least the ramp looks okay. Okay, but that went back down to 1 megahertz, that's why. Alright. So let's just go back. So yeah, she is fully functional, at least as far as the scope part of it goes. Let's go back to 1 kilohertz here. And that's pretty much what most people are used this thing for, is audio range. So there, we'll see if it auto ranges from there. And yeah, it does, and then we'll just, there you go. And yeah, the frequencies people are going to use this thing mostly for is probably in the audio ranges, because a lot of the amp installers and stuff use these to set their gain and so forth. So it pretty much does what it's supposed to. So yep, this Tenma meter, at least as far as the scope portion goes, does function. So this pretty much concludes the video of this Tenma 72-8400 scope meter. So that component that cost probably like around a couple bucks, I did pull the component off another board, so I actually didn't even pay anything. It was from a scrap board anyway. But that brought this $200 and something meter down pretty much. I only paid 50 bucks for this meter. On eBay, it was sold as is, and the seller was honest. He did say it didn't power on and so forth. But the whole reason why that diode went out was because he actually reversed the leads when he cleaned the battery acid from the battery compartment and tried to solder a new connector and didn't pay attention to the actual pins on the actual connector itself, and that's what destroyed it. But there you go.